Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about Bramty. Your favorite and mine, and Tyson's apparently. Tyson thinks it's so funny when they were walking through that mansion, like, look, you can put water here. And it was crazy. They are the dumbest people on YouTube, okay? Just ridiculously dumb. It's like when you look at someone and you're like, man, and they talk to you and you're like, these people are so dumb. And you just don't want to be there in the conversation anymore. That's them. In a nutshell, right? If drinking shampoo and then being surprised that the bottle says, please don't drink, is a person, it'd be them. So they did a video about why they're homeschooling their kids, which is why it's crazy that I'm saying all these things. They're dumb. How are you going to homeschool kids? You can't even do math yourself. So let's take a listen to why they're doing this, because they're dumb. Let's go. So if you haven't followed me, I've done a bunch of Bramty videos. They're just one of those ridiculous couples on YouTube. They're just ridiculous. She's pretty abusive, by the way, to what's his name? I don't even know his name anymore. Dumbass guy. I want to say Renee, but that's not it. Anyway, she's like crazy. And their relationship is super damn toxic, and they have children that they exploit on the internet like big time. Remember they went out and took their kid around, they were drinking, and then they went driving, like they're drinking at lunch and they went driving, and like it's just crazy. The things and they're so unaware at how bad and how dumb they are, and probably unaware about how bad of parents they are. But they decided they're going to taking our kids out of school. We're going to find out why, and we're going to see how they're going to educate them. Because why do family vloggers do this? Why do influencers do this? You're already dumb. Okay, most influencers, seriously, especially family vloggers, most of them are dumb. Almost, and some of the, especially the teen ones, the teen moms, rarely do any of them have any education past grade 10, okay? Like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, I'm trying to get my grade 10. If you haven't watched Trailer Park Boys, please do yourself a favor, okay? But, you know, especially these teen moms and these really, really young moms, their whole world has become influencers, and they don't know anything except for the world of influencing. They can tell you all about an algorithm, but they can't do division, right? They can tell you all about how to go viral on the internet, but they can't like literally read some of them. Kira, I'm looking at you, right? Can't spell. Half these people can't even put a coherent sentence together. They're dumb. And so but in the same vein, they want their kids home for content, and so they'll homeschool them. Some of these influencers that unschool their children who live on like farms and stuff like that, those kids are going to be straight rock dumb when they're older, because they're not going to learn it. Like unschooling, for what it's worth, is great, but you should do it in tandem with schooling. Do you know what I mean? You should also learn how to read instead of just playing with rocks and turtles. That's another video for another time, but that's what we're saying here. So let's talk about it and see what they have to say. I'm sure it's going to be real great and enlightening.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Bramty. I'm
Dumb name.
your host, Bramty.
And I'm your host, Lewis.
And Lewis. Renee.
And guys, long time no...
Her name is Bramty, which is weird. And so the whole podcast is named after her, but it's got the word T in it, right? Because they're spelling the T.
See, long time no here, right?
No.
I feel like we fell off a little bit uploading podcasts for you guys.
I mean, with good reason.
With good reason.
We're busy. We're definitely really busy.
Living life.
Really busy. How many times have you heard an influencer say, we're so busy? You're so busy? Are you busy? Doing what? Working? No, you don't do that. So, what you busy doing? You busy influencing? Now, I know Lewis is a boxer. Apparently, he's pretty successful at it. He works really hard, and as a guy who loves boxing, I can say, hey, good for you, Lewis. You're out there doing something good. But he's also a dickhole, so that doesn't really help, because he's got to promote these fights by being a dickhole. His kids will see that too. And as good of a fighter as he probably is, one day he's probably going to get his head knocked off, and his kids are going to get to watch this all on the internet. It's really great. But YouTube, the world of YouTube boxing is pretty crazy, and it's become pretty big. And nobody really talks about how a lot of these guys are way past their prime, and like when it comes to like, not like the Paul guy, the Paul brothers and stuff. Those guys are like in their prime, young. Lewis is old. It's got kids and stuff like that. So, and I say that from an old guy, but I digress.
Like a little bit of like how the government indoctrinates your children, and like what?
What? I'm just...
You're rolling your eyes.
No, I'm not.
Everybody rolls their eyes at you, Lewis. You're dumb. Are they really just starting this thing off with like, we're going to homeschool our kids because the government indoctrinates our children? I did not expect that. Not going to lie.
You just rolled your eyes. You just went like this.
For you guys watching this, I did not roll my eyes.
Play it back. Look at you like this.
Maybe because I'm tired.
Okay.
I'd be tired too.
So the government indoctrinates your children what we believe like is right for our kids.
Yeah, and
If you're going to say the government indoctrinates your children, like, I can understand that that's a big thing and that's going on everywhere. But it's like state governments that run school boards and stuff. So I agree with that they are really pushing inappropriate things inside of school. So I agree with that. But in the same breath, you were going to say that at the same way you exploit your children on the internet and put the whole world out there. So if you think one thing is wrong, but then you do this other thing, you really don't get to say things. You know what I'm saying? Remember, one of the big things that got her in the spotlight was when she was pranking her children. They pranked their kids a lot. Like, to the point where the kids were crying, like, there's trauma. So I don't want to hear it, right? I understand what they're saying, but if you're going to say one thing, but be that other crazy thing, sorry, it holds no weight.
I feel like if you have kids or not, I feel like this is a really interesting topic just because we all went to school. You guys,
Did you? It doesn't show. You guys didn't remember anything then.
Maybe you're in school. Maybe you just graduated from high school. Either way, we all went to school. Elementary school, middle school, high school. And the reason why we want to get into this topic is because, and this is the first time that we're mentioning this and that we're making like this announcement, we decided for this year, we are going to be homeschooling Penelope.
Yep.
Which is crazy because...
Okay, something straight. You're worried about the government indoctrinating children. Okay, valid. But you're only going to do for one child? Interesting. Why?
Because I'm not gonna lie, I am so nervous. I feel like these are not my emotions now, but they were like last month, for example. But I feel like now that I'm like really into it, I'm researching, learning everything. I feel way better. But I was literally fearful, and I felt like I was gonna fail her, and I wasn't gonna.
You're going to fail her, Bramty. You will fail your child. You guys have already failed your child. Your children. Like, what do you mean you're gonna fail her? That ship sailed with the Titanic. Doo-doo. They're like Celine Dion singing you off. You already failed your children. Part of that, don't you understand? You exploit them, dumbass. I can't believe these people. They're so unaware. They're so just blind to it all.
Actually, probably the biggest reason why we're gonna homeschool her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the big reasons.
This was like the reason that we were like, okay, it's it. Like,
it pushes over the edge.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get into this, but I had a meeting with her, and I can't remember the name of the other person that was in the meeting.
Frank.
It must have been like probably from like the county school board or maybe like child protective
is it like
people.
No,
CPS was there.
no, because that's CPS.
Right? It's not CPS.
Not child protectors. No, it's like civil, or is it like the school board?
The school board?
I feel like if you're gonna make this huge decision, you should probably know who you met with, and like, I think it was somebody from somewhere, and I don't even remember, but we're pulling our kid out because of it. Like, you should remember that, right? That's a big deal.
So, Penelope, during that meeting, her teacher had told us that she was going to go to the gifted program for 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So Penelope's already very smart, and I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter, but she's very smart. She has such a good link,
And despite what you guys say, that's a miracle because you just didn't get it from you guys.
vocabulary. She thinks a lot. She
thinks.
absorbs things really easily. So I know that she's going to be great. And she's gonna homeschool easily.
Yeah. She's gonna have to teach herself, it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like. She's gonna homeschool easily. Sounds like she's already smarter than you. So good luck with that.
Yeah. I mean,
but let's get into why we decided to homeschool.
Can Lewis say a word? Is that cool too? No? Okay.
Penelope.
Why do people who are sitting together in an interview put headphones on? Like, you don't need to hear each other through your microphone. And it sounds like they got a sound guy or whatever. Maybe not. They got the mixer right next to them there. But you don't need to wear headphones if you're together having a conversation with 2 microphones. You don't need headphones. Okay? If you're interviewing somebody, you need headphones. Stop doing this. You look stupid.
This year. And maybe for the rest of her life. Like,
yeah, we'll see.
We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
But overall, like, we feel, but just...
And this has been, I feel like we felt like this for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
I even felt like this.
Just get to the damn point.
To me, public school is such a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
I mean, depends. Like, if you're talking about the indoctrination stuff, okay. But school's not a waste of time if you're getting an education. I mean, we all learn to read and write, do math, science, you learn biology. School's not a waste of time. What did she just say? School is not a waste of time as long as it's done right. I mean, even though there is some indoctrination that has gone on through all of our generations, of course, right? I remember being young and saying the Lord's Prayer in school. That's how old I am, okay? That stuff got removed right away. The new indoctrination is the new religion, right? Still indoctrination, still stuff like that goes on. But you still learned in spite of that, but I think it's getting a little bit worse now because they don't grade. You can't fail. It's crazy what's happened, but school's not a waste of time. There are parts of it that are, though.
And I feel like the school system, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was like this for our parents too, or for like the older generation. Maybe the school system was that bad back then too, but I feel like the school system...
What do you mean by bad?
Like, bad is bad. Like, the school system's bad. Like, it's just so...
What do you mean by bad? It's bad. Oh, thanks for clarifying. Appreciate that, Lewis.
So programmed. It's so, like, boring.
It's programmed. It's boring. Are you telling me school's a waste of time because it's boring? Oh my God. These people are raising children.
They don't really teach you. It's very useless information.
Apparently, they didn't teach you.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you on this. I don't think the school system is bad. I think it's just unnecessary. The amount of hours and the amount of the amount of hours you're in school is very unnecessary, and the things that you learn are very unnecessary.
What? Like, clarify. Again, I know they're talking about the indoctrination stuff, right? I know that, but you got to clarify the amount of hours you're in school. The things that they learn. What? Holy cow! Like, you guys shouldn't be talking about this because you were so dumb.
That's what I personally think, and that's why I think it's such a waste of time.
Yeah, that's why I said the school system is bad.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying. Why is it bad? Because it's bad. I've never, it just hits, It hits different when you clarify it like that.
When you say bad, you're making it seem like they're not doing a good job.
They're not. They're not doing a good job.
They're not doing a good job because they obviously have
Oh
teachers.
my gosh, she's agreeing with him, and then when he agrees with her, she's like, no, you're wrong. Well, you're saying the same. She just loves drama and loves tension. There's no way that this is healthy, but like, he was agreeing with her, and she's like, what do you mean? Well, I'm agreeing with you, but how? Well, I don't know. I'm just agreeing with you because that's what he has to do. And then she throws it back, like, no, you can't say that. Holy.
Doing a good job by wasting our kids' time and keeping them in the class all day. That's the only, and they watch over them, but...
Why is it influencers always do this? Like, I don't want anybody indoctrinating my kids. I'm going to indoctrinate them. I get that. That's your choice. And okay, for sure. But generally, it's influencers, right? Like, I don't want my kid to like go normal, be all normal and stuff. There is great things about school, right? And there's great things about homeschooling. There's great things about all these things, but there's obviously negatives about all of them as well. And it's about the bottom line. I think the indoctrination, so many parents are getting really, really upset with it. And you're seeing a migration away from public school because they're abandoning, maybe this is what they meant to say, is they're abandoning the reading, writing, arithmetic. They're abandoning that for CRT and all this other indoctrination stuff. And that became more important because teachers all over TikTok and everything else, social media has ruined, and all these young teachers just coming in and wanting to talk about other things instead of the things they're really supposed to be talking about. But there is social aspects of school, making friends and being a part of, being socialized. When it comes to homeschool, the homeschool kids generally are way smarter, they're educated. And if you have a good parent who is structured and smart and understands how it goes, these people are not that, though. If you ever really met a homeschool parent who's good at what they do, they're pretty smart, right? There's curriculum, there's things, but I think what you're going to see is a migration away from this back to literally one-room schoolhouses, where a community is going to hire a teacher or two teachers. The kids are going to go to that school, and they're going to be educated in a couple ways. So they're going to be educated to their strengths, which is going to be great, but they're also going to be educated on the rudimentary things like reading, writing, arithmetic, and history, and everything else. You're going to see this big migration because a lot of parents, especially in this world and the cost of living, a lot of parents both have to work full time. We have to do that here. I would homeschool if my wife was home all the time, right? I wish we could afford to do that because my wife is brilliant. She's very smart, and she would raise children to be, she would educate them very well. My wife has such a great memory, and she's really good at like remembering all the stuff she did in high school. I couldn't even do long division on paper if you asked me to do. Okay, I forget with the little thing and I don't know how to do it anymore. Right? She would remember that kind of stuff. But I think that there's a big difference. The homeschool kids that I grew up with generally were very, very awkward and weird and not socialized properly, and that's okay. I think people are willing to be like, okay, I don't care if I have a weird kid. It's almost better to have a weird kid who's kind of socially awkward than the kids who are indoctrinated into social norms as we have them today. I think people are starting to be like, I don't care about that. I don't want my kid to be indoctrinated on this side. I'd rather them just be a weirdo playing Legos over here and going, hanging out with other homeschool kids. So the tables are shifting big time towards that. We made fun of homeschool kids growing up, and now it's becoming the norm, and those kids are actually the ones who are going to survive and thrive in a system that requires people to be educated.
What they're teaching them for 8 hours, however they spread out their curriculum, is horrible. Like, you don't need 8 hours a day, 9 months a year to learn You could learn it in like a month of what they teach you, and then you forget it in the next month. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. I feel like
That's dumb. That's dumb.
in high school personally, or just in school in general, it was like a memory game for me.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't really learn.
So you're just saying, you can't just say, well, because I didn't learn that way, everybody should learn the way. Again, that's why the one-room homeschooling thing is probably going to come back, where again, communities of people are going to start hiring their own teachers to do this. Because yes, you're right. I'm like him. It was a memory game for me to pass tests and everything else. I just had memorized. I didn't understand what I was doing. I was a late bloomer, right? Later in life, I'd understand more things. But it was all about a memory game and understanding how that worked for me. And that for French, for everything that we had to learn here, was all memory for me because I just couldn't absorb it because of ADHD. Like hardcore ADHD. I would be reading a book. This is when I was young. And I'd read like an entire 2 pages. And I'm like, but my mind was like Neverland, and then I didn't remember what I read completely. Now there are some kids like that, but the education system only works for one kid, and that's the kid who has a good memory and a kid who can learn, and it shoves to the side people like me. And I understand what he's saying here, but it doesn't mean that education doesn't work. It just means it needs to be reformed. That's what I think.
I just memorized something.
You memorized because of the test, yeah.
And then you literally forgot it.
Yep.
So it wasn't
Same.
like you're actually learning and you're not enjoying it. You're not actually like wanting to be there.
We literally graduated high school, not...
Oh, they did? Okay. What, 50% average?
Knowing how to write a check, open up a bank account, how to sew clothes, how to make our own food.
Nothing useful.
Natural remedies. Like, we didn't learn any, like, algebra.
You didn't? Or she's saying we did, because when I was in school, we did learn. I had shop class. I don't know what it's called, home economics, I think. I learned how to sew. I learned all that kind of stuff. I learned how to write a check in school. I learned about taxes. It's just the American education. I learned all the stuff she just said. That was a big part of our education. I think that's what they took out of schools. You don't have home ec. I loved home ec, man. We used to make food. It was great. Used to sew teddy bears and stuff in home ec. Like, I loved home ec. So, and we had, like, a lot of our schools here, especially when we're in the countries too, they have shop classes where you can go literally learn how to become a mechanic and weld and things like that. So, do you not have that in the States? Because I definitely learned all those things growing up.
Algebra,
Yeah.
like crazy as I remember one time in high school, I was in math class and I absolutely dreaded and hated math and I couldn't keep up. I hated it. I thought it was the most boring thing because we were learning the hardest algebra and like these crazy.
It wasn't hard. You just don't like math. And same, I hated math too. Hated it. So, but you should still learn the rudimentaries of math. Algebra, I can't understand. Like, do you really need it? Have any of us ever used algebra? Hands up if you've used algebra. So I understand what she's saying. But at the same time, yeah, I hate to agree with them on some of these things, but they're like, at least Lewis was saying the right thing. But at the same time, they're like, well, you know, it's not a complete waste of time. Like, you understand, you can read, right? There was classes you did, like you made friends, right? There was great memories you made, right? So there is some good benefits to schooling.
Things and I remember telling the teacher one time, I was like so frustrated. I was like, why are we learning this? Like, what is the point? And she ended up bitching at me like, blah, blah, blah. But I just remember feeling
blah, blah, blah. Is that what she said? Hey, why are we learning this? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, chill. All right.
Like, I felt that way even in high school.
I felt like that
and
too.
It's because you guys are both dumb.
I saw this video on TikTok saying that the reason why school is 8 hours long is because it needs to be able to accommodate the working parent.
Exactly. And that's it. So and you guys aren't working parents. So it's easy for you to say, well, I can homeschool because you guys do social media for a living. You don't actually have real jobs. So they're negating that. And that's one of the big reasons that it's really frustrating for parents who can, like, again, I said that too. Both parents need to be working. If we didn't have to, likely would be homeschooling our kids and putting them in a lot of community events and things like that, because it is just better. And not even on the social scale, not even on the indoctrination stuff, but just literally on the brain stuff. Kids who are I have yet to meet a homeschool kid that wasn't actually pretty smart. Like, I mean, really smart. And that was one thing a lot of them had going for them. They were really smart. And so I would love my kids to be smart, but socialized and everything else. And I think that's on the parents. A lot of these parents who homeschooled their kids in my day, they were just Christian fundamentalists and they didn't want their kid to be indoctrinated or to have any reality whatsoever but the real world. And then when those kids entered into the real world, they went off the deep end. They were like, what the heck is this? Right? It's like eating chocolate for the first time if you've been held from for your whole life, right? They just didn't know they had no impulse control after they discovered it. So there's a way to do it properly, but I don't know what I'm saying.
Obviously, a parent, when they're working.
Yeah, because as you know, people say this all the time, as a society, we are poor. At a point where 9 to 5 is 8-hour shift. And like, you have an age, and then also they say that kids are also being trained and programmed to get used to 8-hour shifts. So when they go into the workforce, they can be used to 9 to 5.
Yeah.
These people have never worked a day in their life.
But I get it, like, whatever. No knock to 9 to 5. It's just, that is what it is. Like, 9 to 5, 8 hours, and your kid has to be in school for 8 hours.
Because the government knows that if the kids are not in school for the same amount of time that a parent is working their 9 to 5 job, the parent, one, is going to have to quit the job, and then they just don't have enough employees. Or two, they're just going to have to, like...
Sorry. I understand what they're trying to say, but they just sound so uneducated when they say it. Like, 9 to 5, if you don't have it, then they can't work. How many kids go to school until 5 p.m.? Right? Like, it doesn't exist. So, okay.
I don't know, the kids might be in school 2 hours, and then the rest of the days might be getting into, like, crimes or doing bad things or whatever. So I feel like the government needs to put the kids... So I get that aspect of it, but it can be really mentally draining. It can be really stressful. It can be, like, just... such a make or break for a kid.
Yeah, well, imagine if the 8 hours they were there, it was like not what they were teaching them.
Oh, yeah.
I was teaching them useful things more. Bro, I wish, like, for example, I wish school would teach, like, health.
Again, what's going on in your American education system? You didn't get health class? I'm starting to think that Canadian education is a lot better than everywhere else. You didn't get health class?
And food and eating right and things that that matter.
Again, you didn't. Okay, now I'm like scared. Like, this is, you guys didn't learn any of the food pyramid. You didn't learn any of this stuff about healthy eating. I mean, the food pyramid's like debunked now, but I'm sure it's been updated in Canada. But you didn't learn health? What the heck? Ah, man, when I was a kid, we used to have gym for like an hour. We used to have to run kilometers. We would like, is that changed?
Like right now, if you think about it as adults, but a lot of people are so obsessed with health and eating and organic stuff and what's good for you. And did you ever learn that in school?
Never.
Learn nothing. You actually fed you crap in the cafeteria. I actually fed you.
True, it was good too. Hot hamburger. Anybody ever hot hamburger in the cafeteria? Just a piece of bread with this hamburger patty on it, French fries, and just pour gravy all over it. Hot hamburger, man. That hamburger was like D grade too. It was like the lowest like Taco Bell D grade meat that you can get. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
Really bad food. So like they didn't teach you the important things as an adult. You care. And then also, I'm talking a lot, but now that I'm a dad and you're a mom, I feel like we've noticed to our child, like, damn, she's gone 8 hours.
Yeah, we've noticed that it was definitely affecting Penelope. So we're gonna get into the reason.
You've noticed? We just noticed one day our kid goes to school the whole day. Did you notice that? I'm sorry, these people. I know what they're trying to get at. I do. I understand the premise and the foundation of what they're trying to say, but they're so dumb when they say it, and it just makes it, and it doesn't help because I get what they're trying to say, but they're so dumb it makes it worse. It makes it sound like they're all okay. Well, that sounds ridiculous when you say it.
Means of why we're deciding to homeschool her. We just have like a lot to say about this topic, so I feel like we're all over the place.
Yeah.
But we have many reasons. One is that we've noticed like the impact it has caused on Penelope. And let me just say this. Penelope, her whole life, has gone to private schools. Montessori and private schools. Second grade was the first year that she entered a public school, and the reason being is because we moved into the house we're currently living in. When we moved in here, school was already 2 weeks in, and her school was the closest one to our house, and all the private schools were already booked up or like so far away.
Cool. So it makes great. So you really care about your kids' education, but you guys are just moving all over the place. And that house that they went to, remember that big giant mansion stuff that looked like that was a scam all the way through. So if you want, and they fail to realize this, right? They're like, well, all that stuff we didn't plan ahead. That means you don't care. It means everything. It means that you guys matter more than everything about your kids. And of course it is, because they exploit their children. So it's just one more set of proofs that we have that these people don't care about anybody but themselves.
So we couldn't get her into a private school. So public
was the only option.
And I was thinking about homeschooling her last year, but I think it was so chaotic, like moving in. Life was busier back then. So I was just like, we'll just put her in public school. And honestly, we've noticed so our daughter, obviously, Montessori school and Montessori schools and private schools her whole life, and then 1 year goes into public. We noticed such a change in her. She was literally stressed. Like she would come home and tell us like, I'm so stressed, and she would cry. And what 8-year-old deserve? Like an 8-year-old should never feel the emotion of being stressed.
No, that's silly. We are humans. You should understand stress, and you should understand coping mechanisms too. What?
Yeah, she was stressed, tired. She wouldn't want to eat. Like
She
would want to just lay around
like a zombie.
And then on top of that, when she gets home from school, they gave her homework.
Yeah.
And then
not homework. Again, this is like we were talking about, like how they hated their education system because they got homework and stuff. But that's like very liberal thinking when it comes to education. We should be giving our kids homework. We should, like we pine for the days of old when we were raised, we thought we were raised right. When it comes to education, obviously some things do need to change, but some things were good the way they were. So there is a balance that needs to be struck.
She was stressed about that, and then like we're like, we haven't seen her all day. She just spent like an hour on the computer doing homework. Mm-hmm. Now we have to take a bath, eat, and go to sleep.
Yep.
It's like, damn.
So we definitely noticed a change in her personality. She was just more zombie-like. She was very tired. She was more...
She wakes up at 6 a.m. on the dot.
6 a.m., guys.
6 a.m. on the dot.
Do you know how crazy that is to wake up an 8-year-old at 6 a.m.?
Lots of kids have to do lots of things. Holy cow, you guys are influencers. We need to sleep until at least 9. Like, what's going on?
And have them at school and then pick them after and then homework and then you have to do your nighttime routine and you have to go to bed and do it all over again. Like that.
Okay, your children aren't going to school till 5 p.m., okay? They're home by like 3:15, 3:45 max, depending how far away you are. And you said it was close. So you get home, do your homework to what, 4 or 5? And then you go to bed at what, 5:30? What are you saying right now? Why are you lying? Stop lying. Okay? If you have 4 hours to spend with your child, that's just the way world works sometimes. And that's a long time. Also, you have your weekends and holidays and everything else. School isn't just like 8 hours a day, 365 days a year. There's like tons of 3-day weekends, like all the time. There's like 2 weeks off at Christmas. There's March break. There's so many things. That's just the way the world works. You want your kid to be educated, that's kind of how it works.
Literally is a life of like a grown-ass person.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not 9 to 5. Stop saying children go to school 9 to 5. They don't go to school 9 to 5. 9 to 3. 9 to 3:30 max. So stop it.
And it's sad because now as an adult, I don't even want to wake up at 6 a.m. But
we know this is why you're homeschooling kids, because you know literally they just gave it away. We don't want to wake up early, so we're homeschooling her.
No, that we did that though.
Well, yeah, we did that.
So selfish needs.
We were miserable. No, we did that, but I mean now, like taking her to school, we were miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, you're miserable taking kid to school? Oh, come on, right now. What are you guys saying?
Even now, like you barely took her to school. But
yeah, exactly. He's telling you with the truth. You never did anything, you liar.
I took her to school like every day, and I would feel bad because I would have to like nag her or like just like get her up, and she would cry, and then I would feel like
so a normal child then. Okay, understood.
I was grumpy too. I was like, damn, I don't want to be at 6 a.m. in a car line for an hour. You know, it's just like a lot.
Yeah.
No school buses or what? Is it? Okay.
Especially for an 8-year-old. Like for me, cool. I'm an adult. I can do it. I can manage. But for an 8-year-old,
an 8-year-old should be sleeping, growing. Like these are the times where they're growing.
No, an 8-year-old's fine. Kids don't need as much sleep as an adult does. They are so ridiculous. They're like, on one hand, they're like, oh, the school shouldn't be like living like an adult, but 8-year-olds should be sleeping and growing. Is that what they should be doing? Oh my gosh, these people are so dumb. Holy.
And
freaking like wake her up at 6, then she barely eats anything good.
You said she gets up at 6. Why does she need to get up at 6? They're contradicting themselves. She gets up at 6 on the dot, blah, blah. It sounds like you wake her up at 6. Why do you wake her up at 6? You said the school is close. School doesn't start before 8:30. There's no way. I can't even imagine a school starting before 8:30. And because my kid's school doesn't start till like 9. So, and I'm not saying that's all schools. Maybe some do start early, but before 8:30? Why do you need to get up an hour and a half before school?
You take a bowl of cereal. Like, you know, you don't have time. Like,
you don't have time? Wake up at 6, you don't have time?
Rush.
Yep. So one of the things, we noticed a change in her personality. She was very stressed. 2, we felt like we were in jail.
It's because it's about you.
Honestly,
I felt like a prisoner.
We felt like
you felt like a prisoner. Oh my gosh. Holy. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
We had to go do, because the thing is with us, we work from home.
Yeah.
You don't work. You film your life and you exploit your children.
And we do social media. So you guys, some of you guys may or may not know.
Nobody knows what you go through. Okay, you're so privileged and you're ridiculous.
Social media comes with a lot of like opportunities and traveling opportunities and just like a lot of things that come your way. Events. And I'm sure we've turned down a few things just because we couldn't pull Penelope out of school anymore.
Yeah.
So you're admitting you pulled her out of school a lot, but then it got crazy because the school probably said you can't do that anymore. That's what I'm hearing. They're doing this selfishly, not because of the other reasons. That's the real reasons coming out right now, because we're social media superstars and we need to travel a lot. So we need to take her out of school. How's she going to have a normal education, even homeschool education, if you're pulling her out of school? Is she learning while you're running through an airport? No. On an airplane? No. While you're traveling? No, because you guys are working. So are you serious right now? Holy cow.
Yeah. And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh, cue sad music. Oh my God, is it frustrating that you can't go on vacations, that you got your kids in school? Finn, oh my gosh, okay, really? Did you see this after you talked about it?
So we felt like we were in prison, and then on top of that, I think what started happening was, okay, so we started getting parent-teacher conferences because Penelope would start going to school late.
Penelope didn't go to school late. You guys started mismanaging your time. That's not Penelope's fault. That's your fault. So they're about to say something. We got in trouble with the principal because we were late dropping our kid off. You guys don't have jobs. I need you to hear me on this one, Bramty. You and Lewis don't have regular lives, not regular jobs. You don't have a job to get to. You can get up in the morning, get your kid ready for school. You can come home and have a dang nap if you want after that, right? You just have to manage your time better. You don't do anything. Are you kidding me?
And she would start going to school tardy, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, randomly.
30? What do you mean randomly? Yeah. Stop. You're blaming your child. It's not your child's fault.
Yeah.
And we started getting parent-teacher conferences. So I don't think did you ever attend one?
Or I don't think I attended one.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay, so I would attend all of them because Lewis, he could care less about these things.
Yeah. Care less about your kid's education. That's nice.
It's I don't care. She's just like that. But I'm very no, I have to be the I take her schooling and everything very seriously.
Clearly. But I don't get up in the morning to help her because I'm not a morning person, but I take it seriously. We have to travel because we're influencers, but I take her education seriously.
And Lewis just he knows I am like that, so I handle all of it. But I remember going to a parent-teacher conference, and they were like, why is Penelope being so late to school? Blah, blah. And the teacher was
blah, 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 blah. That's what I heard.
This affects her because when she gets here, we're already done with math, and then I have to go over what she's doing in math, and then she gets very, anxious, and I'm noticing Penelope is just far behind, and blah, blah. You have to
blah, blah.
You're not here on time. And
blah, blah.
The teacher was, mad at me. And I was...
it's because your fault, and the teacher has a right to be mad at you because it's your fault, and the kid's falling behind because you.
I was like, okay, you know what?
And the teacher's like, so, can you walk me through your day? How can we help you manage your time better? How can we get her on school on time? Do you guys have careers? Is that your job isn't allowing you to well, here's the thing, Mrs. P. We don't do anything. I really want to sleep in the morning because I'm not a morning person. Okay. I'm an influencer. We get up late, we stay out late, we do crazy things. We like to go on vacations. You have to understand that the opportunities that are afforded us because of our career means that this whole school thing is just not compatible. Right. So I need you to understand something like this. I'm a YouTuber. So you can't be mad at me for this thing that I do. Gosh.
I need to take the teacher's her feelings into consideration because I wouldn't want to have to redo a whole lesson because a kid is coming to school late. So I was like, okay, I get it. We're going to try harder. I get it. And I don't want Penelope feeling anxious and feeling like she's behind, when they're learning a new subject. And
just so you're aware, they're blaming the teacher for this. You can't make it up. They're blaming the teacher for this. And why are your mic stands so high? You get the wrong mic stands, okay? It's the mic's all the way up here and down. Holy.
She gets there 30 minutes late, and then she doesn't understand what's going on. So I took both their, feelings into consideration. I was like, okay.
That's nice of you.
So I was like, Lewis, we really need to be serious. I was not we, but you. Yeah, I was like, you need to, be, faster in the mornings.
I can't believe you said this. Lewis, I got in trouble with teachers, so you're going to have to get up earlier because I'm not. Are you hearing it now? Are you what she's saying? Lewis, this is on you, okay? I need to sleep. I need my beauty rest, obviously. So you're going to need to get up a little earlier.
Yeah, it was tough because, bro, you know how long Penelope, she wouldn't want to get up. She'd be slow. She wouldn't want to brush her teeth. Nothing. She'd just cry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had that meeting, and then further along, the school year.
You're the parent.
Coming, and we got opportunities. For example, so as you guys know, I do social media with all the kids.
Mm-hmm. The translation of what she just said there was, we exploit our children for money.
I would get opportunities for the kids.
Opportunities to exploit my children.
To do a brand deal, and that's basically sponsored content. So
wow.
I would get, for example, Penelope worked one time with a vitamin company, a kids vitamin company, and we had to do, I think, like a couple of Instagram reels.
They're literally telling you right now with their own words that we force our children to work. Are you hearing this right now? They're forcing their kids to work. And how does this tie into not being school? So let me get this right. Are you about to say that schooling was getting in the way of their brand deals? Your brand deals, the money that you're going to make? I hope you don't say that.
And when she comes back from school, then, you know, I don't want to have her working. I want her to relax. And then by the time the sun's already going down and I need good lighting for content, you know how all that goes.
No, we don't. Nobody knows how all that goes. Are you serious? And now the real reason comes out. The kids are at school too long to do brand deals when they get home. So they are now going to homeschool their children so they can make them work more. Are you hearing this? Did you really mean to put this on the internet? What?
So I was like, okay, Penelope, you're going to miss school today. We have to do this brand deal.
Oh my gosh, guys. And this is what influencers won't tell you. I cannot believe they're telling you this right now. This is what they won't tell you. They will pull their kids out of school to get educated so they can do brand deals and make money off their children. That's child labor. And these children aren't registered with Coogan accounts, not registered with like the SAG-AFTRA, none of that stuff. They're just normal kids. And they are being pulled out of school to do brand deals. Wow.
Blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
School every so often, either for brand deals or when we would go on vacation. So then I got a call from the school and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, you need to come in for a parent-teacher conference. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again.
Don't be all rolling your eyes. You're going in because your child is missing school for brand deals and vacations? You don't get to roll, oh my gosh, the school are so unreasonable. What?
So I get to Penelope's school. It's me and Penelope.
Penelope and I.
This lady grabs me from the office, and I've never seen her before. And she's like, hey, are you Penelope's mom? I'm like, yeah. She's okay, come on, we're having a meeting.
Yeah. It's meeting time.
Have a badge?
Yeah, she had like a badge and stuff like that.
So she wasn't part of the school?
No. It sounds like this is like they know what's going on at home. The kid gets in school. Where were you yesterday? Well, I had a brand deal to do. And teachers are like, well, they're mandated reporters. You can't just be pulling kids out of school to work. Sorry. And they're not even registered actors or anything like that. So if you're going to do that, then those kids who are kids actors, which, again, we can talk about this all day, they actually get educated on set. They don't actually go to a real school. They have teachers on set. There's rules. You're not allowed to do this. This is like illegal. Your kids are supposed to be in school. They're not going to be pulled out to work as minors either. And those brand deals that paid them for this, they should be held accountable for that.
Has an office in the school.
Oh, okay.
So she's like in charge of like monitoring kids, like attendance and all that type of stuff.
Principal?
So I was confused and I was like, you're not, like in my head, I'm like, you're not Penelope's teacher. So I told her, I was like, are we having the meeting with you or are you walking me over there? And she's like, no, we're having the meeting. And I was like, oh, and I had no idea this whole time. I thought in my head I was having a meeting with the teacher.
Okay.
So she walks us over to the classroom and her teacher's there. So it's the teacher, the lady, Penelope, and me. And then the lady introduces herself, and then she's like, hi, I'm Becky. I work in the freaking...
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
I don't even know her job title, but it was like something really serious.
Wow. You really took it seriously. I don't know anything about her, but I totally was like, oh my gosh, am I in trouble?
And we're here to talk about Penelope's attendance. I'm very concerned, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Going at me.
She doesn't care. That's the thing. We're here to talk about this really important thing. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever, man.
Like, what is happening? Why isn't she school on time? Blah, 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 blah. And I basically explained to her, one thing about me is I don't like people knowing what we do for a living. Social media.
I don't like people knowing what we do for a living, which is public to the world. What do you mean you don't like people knowing what you're doing? They could find you in 2 seconds. Are you serious?
Yeah, because then they start looking at our content, and I get that our content.
I don't like people knowing what we do because then they can see what we do. Oh my gosh! Holy cow!
Is public, but if you don't know,
We just try to avoid people knowing, just because.
Why? Because you guys are a-holes on the internet? Is that why? Because you prank your children? Because it looks low-level abusive? Is that why? What do you mean? What are these guys admitting right now? Holy cow!
Just cause, like, I don't know.
We don't want to, cause. Why? Yeah, there's got to be reasons. They don't want to tell you the reasons. This is crazy.
But
yeah, I just prefer
people start snooping around and getting like more nosy and like
what? What do you mean snooping around? You make it public. You make your money by making it public. Are you telling me you don't want people to watch it? So then why do you put it on the internet? What is the logic? This is why they shouldn't be homeschooling. They don't have any logic. None of it exists in their brain. We don't like people to know what we're doing, but we have millions of subscribers across multiple platforms, but we don't want people to know. What?
The way they see you, and then
they know too much information. So
again, you put it out there. You willingly put it on the internet, but you don't want people to watch it? I don't understand. What?
I just rather them not know, because I don't want you to know what me and Lewis talk about. I don't want you to know what my house looks like.
But then why do you put it on the internet?
I want you to know if I'm wearing a top with like my boobs out or like my ass out, like.
Yeah.
What are you guys saying? Do you understand what you're saying right now? Do you not understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? You don't want people to know it, but yet you put it on the internet publicly for millions of people to watch. Make it make sense to me, please. Am I missing something? What do you mean you don't want people to know? Then why do you put it on the internet? I'm taking crazy pills today. These people are so ridiculous.
I don't want you to judge me based all those things.
I mean, you can't help it if they find it, but like we're not gonna present it to them. Like we're just gonna keep it.
Like just know me as Penelope's mom, and the only information you know from me is what I tell you, and that's all. And that's how.
Okay.
I am about.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody that has to do with either.
Sounds like you're ashamed of your content. And if you got your boobs and your butt out and everything else on your fakery and everything, but you're self-conscious about putting it out there, then why do you put it out? I can't make it up. I'm flabbergasted that these people exist.
We're hiring them for a job. If they're like a teacher, a doctor, we're going for them for a service, like certain things like that. So I was like,
it's important to the teachers. Like, why is Penelope out of school so much? Explain to me. And how do you explain that to them? Well, I don't want to tell you what I do for a living. Well, then you have to explain to us why she's not, because she's not in these meetings saying, look, Penelope has brand deals. We've got vacations that are presented to us because we're influencers. This is what we have to do. What are you saying then if she's missing full days, what are you saying where she is? Oh, it's none of your business. Maybe so, but that is the school's business because your child should be in school by law. You can't just be pulling your kid out of school willy-nilly for reasons that, like, not sickness. Like, sickness is different, right? Yeah, I can pull a kid. Oh, they were sick. Is she lying to the school board? Are they pulling a kid out of the school because the school board's investigating? Is that what's happening?
Like, all right, listen. So this is what I do for a living. Penelope sometimes has to miss because of this, or I have a job that I have to do and I have to bring my kids with me because I don't have help here, and blah blah. So
what? And blah, blah, blah. Like, she keeps saying blah, 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 but she's saying something ridiculous. Sometimes I have to go on these influencer vacations and so nobody take care of my kids here. Get somebody then. Okay, it's way more important than that. And so when you presented that to the teachers, they're like, nah, nope.
Explaining to them. And then she's like, okay, well, what about the tardiness? And I was like, well, it's just, I don't know, she's tardy. And she's like,
I don't know. I don't even know my kid. I don't wake up. Blame Lewis. It's his fault. Oh my gosh.
Can't you try to what's that, carpool with another parent?
Yeah.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
yeah, that's
I feel like,
reasonable.
Like, I hate that. It irks me because it's like you want me to put my kid in a stranger's car and have them go to school.
Why do they have to be strangers? Did your kid not have friends at school? You're not friends with any of their parents? This is it. They're not. Because they don't want people to know what they do. Right? Because they're afraid to be judged. If you're so afraid to be judged, you're not proud of the content you put on the internet? No, they're not. They're ashamed of the content they put on the internet. It should be, because their content is trash. Okay, this is it. They don't have any friends. They don't want to make friends. They don't want anybody close to them. Because they are literally ashamed of their content and that they'll be exposed for who they really are. So they don't have any friends. And so I love the idea. Do you want me to put my kid in a stranger's car to get to school? I mean, or you could put them on the internet in front of millions of strangers and predators and stuff. That's, but that's cool. Holy cow.
Just so that my daughter's not tardy. And I was like, I don't trust anybody. I'm like very protective over my kids. I'm like, I don't trust anybody. I'm not carpooling. Like, I'll carpool with somebody like a family, like my mom could take my kid to school, but
that you had no support.
I'm not carpooling with a damn neighbor or a mom I met once just because your kid goes to my school. I don't know them. Yeah, so I was like, no.
That's reasonable. I get that. I understand that. Then you know what? Then you have to make. Then the answer is okay. I understand that. Then you got to figure out a way to get your kid to school on time because they're suffering. But they don't care. They don't give a crap that their kid is suffering. They have no. I don't care. They're gonna be like, well, you figure it out. If she's late, whatever. I don't care. Brand deals.
I don't trust anybody. And she's over here like, can you take the bus? I'm like, no, she's too young to take the bus.
No, what? So they do have a bus and they don't let their kid take the bus? Why is she too young to take the bus?
So I'm just like telling her all these things, and I'm like, listen, like that's how it is. So then she pulls.
Listen, my kid's got brand deals. Listen, we have vacations to go on. Listen, she's gonna be like, that's how it is. This is the reason that teachers don't want to teach. These parents. If I go to school for a parent-teacher meeting because my kid's done something wrong, you better believe I'm going to be like, you know what? We're going to take care of this because this is unacceptable. And we'll figure out a plan. And like, teachers love us as parents. Trust me. Like, I'm like, no, we're going to figure this out. Okay? We are on your side. We want our kid to be smart and educated. And if this is going on, we will figure it out. They're like, well, it's just the way it is. Okay? We're like influencers.
About this paper. And she's like, well, I'm very surprised because Penelope, like, she's in the 97th percentile. Like, she's doing really great. And she's going to be gifted next year. So I'm really surprised, like, with all of the amount of school she's missed, why she's so high up in her percentage.
And she missed, like, 20 days.
Yeah,
Your kid missed 20 days of school because you guys have influencer things to do? That's unacceptable. Again, the reason they're doing it is because they're going to get in trouble with the county or whatever they're in. They're going to get in trouble. They're going to get investigated by CPS. That's why they're pulling the kid out of school for homeschooling. They're not mad at indoctrination. That ship sailed. They're lying to you, okay? Here's the truth of everything, and they're telling you right now. We got in trouble because our kid missed 20 days of school. 20 days on top of all the other things that they miss for for all the other things like holidays and everything else. 20 days is a lot, people. That's a lot of school.
It was like 20. So I was like, well, because when she does miss school, I do work with her at
No, you don't.
home because I know that she's going to go to school. So I don't.
No, you don't.
Want her to be like,
you're a liar,
behind or whatever. I'm like, I do work with her, and you can obviously see this in like her percentage and her.
You work with your child? You can't even string together a proper sentence. You work with them in school. I don't believe you.
Her grades. So I'm like, I don't understand what the issue is.
The issue is you can't, like, it's like, what do you mean my kid missed 20 days? So? Doesn't everybody? No, they don't.
So they were just like on top of me, and they're like.
The thing is about public schools, or you want to talk about that after?
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, the thing about public schools is that they get paid by the county per attendance. Yeah. So like for every kid that attends,
that doesn't sound right.
If they don't attend, they don't get that money for that day.
Is that true? That seems weird. So if kids are missing school, the school doesn't get paid versus attendance. That's interesting. I don't know enough. That sounds weird though.
Yep.
And it all adds up in the end, right? But like they need because public schools are funded by the counties, by the government, basically, by our taxes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thanks, Lewis.
So that's the difference between public school and private school. Private school are funded by the parents. Mm-hmm. So when we had her in private school, they didn't give a F if she missed school. Yep. She missed school more than 20 days.
So you're pulling your kid out of school, and because the private schools are booked, you can't put her in there. So you're like, okay, I'm going to pull her out of school because I don't get in trouble. So your kid's going to suffer no matter which way you go there. And you're probably going to try to put her in private school later. Why don't you just hire a teacher then? You guys are wealthy. Hire a teacher. If your kid's gifted, hire a teacher then. Please don't teach your kid yourself because you don't need more of you running around.
Uh-huh.
But her grades were fine. Like her grades were good. Plus, private school has more one-on-one time, so they teach her better. But they didn't care. But public school is all about kind of money. That's the sad part.
Exactly.
So is private school because they get their money other way. So everybody's about money. Get wrecked.
So I'm going to finish what the conversation was about, but we're going to go ahead and take a short little break, and then I'll tell you the rest of the conversation. Like, all right, listen, well, she keeps missing or continues being tardy, I'm going to have to then take this, like, case and give it to, like, the
CPS.
Superintendent board or the county board, the school board, something like that. Like, just basically telling me, like, it's going to be more serious.
Yeah.
And rolls her eyes. She doesn't care. Imagine that. She's like, imagine being this type of person. Your kid's education is at stake here, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, can't she just miss school? Like, what's the problem? Come on, man. That's why they're going to escalate it, because they know you don't care. They're thinking maybe it's the kid, but no, it's like, now they're like, that's the parents. The parents are literally selfish jerks. That's what they are. And they don't care. And they pull the kid out of school to work. And they're going to get investigated, and so they pull their kid out to homeschool, because that's their way of like, now you can't do anything. You're still going to be investigated. Your kid still has to be educated. I hope the investigation opens.
And I was like, in my head, I'm like, shit, like, I don't know because it's my first time in public school, and I don't know like the lengths that they will go,
or they can do,
or what they can do. So I was genuinely like scared. And
you should be scared. Your kid's missing the education, and you're sitting there like, well, that's just the way it is. Like, don't most kids take time off for influencer vacations?
I came back home and I was like, Lewis, we cannot make her be late, like tardy anymore. So after that, like,
and she just admitted right there, we cannot make her be tardy anymore. There you go.
Lewis and I still had to do little trips for jobs or events or whatever, and my mom would come. And the thing was,
your mom comes to help. That's nice.
Mom, she's an older woman, right? I have 3 kids. My mom would have to wake up all 3 kids just to be able to take Penelope to school.
It's a pair.
Like at 5 something.
5 in the morning to take your kid to school? Is the school in another planet?
2 4-year-old twins and Penelope. My mom would literally wake up at 5 so that she was able to get out the door at like by 6. And I was like,
again, I'm missing something. You have to get out the door by 6? What time does school start there? This isn't making any sense to me. There's no such thing as a school. Again, tell me if I'm wrong. That starts before even 8 o'clock anywhere in the world. Is this true? Are you an hour away from your school?
Like, holy crap, like now it's affecting my mom. Like now Lewis and I felt bad.
You know what? You can adjust your life too, right? Just don't take vacations that are on weekdays.
Even going on
or whatever
trips or vacations, leaving my mom behind because we did not want her to go through that. Yeah. So these were like the things that were just happening, and then everything going on in the world and like the things that they're trying to teach our kids in school now. Personally, I'm not for that. And
here's like, and also the indoctrination. You don't know what they're learning in school. You care. Holy cow!
Might or might not get hate from this, but I'm a parent and I feel like I'm the ones that Lewis and I both get to decide what we want our kids to learn, what not to learn until they're a certain age.
Certain subjects, certain sensitive subjects that have to do with their more personal stuff. Like,
they want to talk about the indoctrination into trans ideology. That's what they're trying to say right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we do what you're saying, but they don't want to say it on YouTube because they can get demonetized.
I feel like we should be teaching them that stuff.
Isn't it crazy that you can't talk about that on YouTube, but you can exploit your children? Just saying.
We want to when we think it's appropriate for them to learn it.
Yeah.
Not when the teacher or the county or the government says, "Oh, your kid's 7 now. I can teach him this." Like, no.
Yeah.
Teach them basic math, basic reading.
So here's what happened. Like they're using this as like another tool to say, "Well, this is why we're doing what we're doing." You could have just said that. You didn't have to admit that you literally forced your child to work and pull them out of school, you idiots. You could have just said this. A lot of parents would have agreed with you, but now you're like, also the indoctrination thing, right? We're just totally against it.
Basic grammar, but not like sensitive personal stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So just like little things like that. But overall, we just want to be able to have the flexibility to, if we feel like booking a damn trip to Japan tomorrow, we're going to book a trip. And
listen how selfish you sound. Listen to this. So he talked about that. She's like, also, like, if we want to just go somewhere, we want to just go. F school. You can't make it up what she's saying right now. She's being so selfish. She doesn't care about a child's education at all. She's like, if we just want to go somewhere, we should just be able to at school. Right? Just school.
We're not having to freak out about Penelope missing school. If we feel like sleeping in till 11 o'clock, like, we're going to sleep in. Yeah. So we just...
Look at how out of touch these people are with the real reality. Like, if we just want to sleep in, we should. Like, who cares about school? You just said your kid's gifted, and you don't care about school. So I've never seen people so obtuse and so unaware of their privilege and how stupid they sound to the rest of the world and they think that they're being smart right now. They're like, if we want to just sleep in, like, if she wants to sleep in, like, I understand having mental health days as a kid. I get that. We never got that when we were kids. Like, you're going to school, rain or shine. I don't care if you have the Ebola. Okay, you're going to school. That's what. When we were young, right? 2 feet of snow uphill both ways. We went to school. Our parents didn't give us mental health days. It didn't exist. We, as parents now, we recognize that sometimes and we do that, right? But this is crazy. She doesn't care about anything but herself. And I can't believe they put this on the internet. I gotta read these comments after this. I am flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Agree with your critics. But you also have to admit that CPS and tracking tardiness, etc., keeps certain kids safe from their families. Yeah. Penelope's lucky to have parents that care about her and also have the ability to provide for her with options. Not every kid is this, and that's why they do. They keep track because, like, is your kid being abused? That's a big deal. And in this case, I think that child labor is abuse. Like, honestly, if there's nothing registered, if you're not, like, following rules or laws that are for it, that's against the law. And so when you admit them, I'm pulling out of school because she has brand deals, that's what they're scared of. The comments are crazy.
Want our lives back, and I think that I genuinely...
Was her schooling getting in the way of your life? Oh my holy cow!
Can do a pretty...
You're so selfish. Bramty, I don't know if you understand what you just said there was probably the most selfish thing, and you say a lot of selfish things. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard a parent say. We just want our lives back, and her education was getting in the way of our lives and dreams.
Good job homeschooling Penelope, because I did so much research for her. So for her grade, she only needs 2 hours of school a day. She needs, here in Florida, the laws for homeschooling is more lenient, so she just needs the core subjects, which is reading, writing, and math. So you get that done. You learn once a day those subjects, and then she's going to be doing...
And who's going to teach them to her? You? Are you going to teach them to her?
Spanish. So I bought this really big Spanish workbook for her age. She's going to be doing Spanish as a foreign language elective.
Yeah.
And then obviously she's going to be getting her exercise. Lewis is going to take her outside, canoeing, fishing.
Yeah, it could be simple.
Trampoline, the playground.
30 minutes, go run around the driveway, do some... what?
So we're just going to teach her 3 things, and then she's going to run around the driveway. Oh my gosh, these people. And they're so dead serious. There's not a hint of irony here. This is completely serious right now. They're like, yeah, we got it all figured out. She's going to run around the driveway.
Whatever we go on a trip somewhere.
Yeah, and I feel like since we travel a lot, every time we travel, I always... Because I love, I really love, when we're traveling, and we see something, for example, an elephant. And I'll be like, oh, did you know the elephant this? And I
I'm sorry. Just traveling. Oh, look at the elephant. Did you know the elephants have trunks? And their wieners are the size of their trunks? Did you know that? I'm sorry. Okay? But that stuff you can also do as well as schooling your children and giving them education, right? You can still go to the zoo on the weekend and say, hey, did you know this elephant can eat peanuts? Come on, man. Her example is crazy. Hey, look, an elephant.
Teaching them.
Oh,
so
man. This is good.
I feel like learning visually and actually being somewhere in a new environment can be better than just a textbook.
It can do both.
And I understand that not every parent has...
The luxury
to homeschool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make anybody feel bad, and I feel like
the only person you are making and feel bad is every parent watching this right now is like this. I don't care if they're a fan or not. I don't care what they see, even if they give you a good comment. They just immediately noped you right out of their mind. They're like, oh my gosh, Bramty is a moron.
It's maybe something you guys can do, but you're just scared. But trust me, I was scared too. I still am nervous, and I just hope
look at elephants.
I'm going to be able to do this right. But it's all about having a community. I found this mom actually that homeschools, and I'm going to meet up with her, and she's going to give me some pointers. So it's about finding a community, doing what you what you're comfortable with. Yeah. But public schools, like I said in the beginning, Lewis was like, I think they're bad. I don't think they're horrible. If they were bad, Penelope wouldn't be in them. I just think they're extra. You're
doing too much, bruh.
Yeah.
Wow. Totally.
They're not doing malicious stuff.
So I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but this is just why we are deciding to homeschool.
They're not bad. So because I don't want to make people feel bad, but I'm saying it could be a lot better. And
they could allow us to go on vacation spontaneously, all right? They could just be they could just not worry about children who have to go home and work and do brand deals, right? They could just they could be cooler about it. Bruh, be cooler, bruh. They call their school board, bruh.
It's very necessary. All the stuff they learn, the 8 hours. Just put yourself in a
kid. I'm saying 8 hours. It's not 8 hours.
This position, you're 8 years old, even whatever. I remember in high school, wake up at 5 something. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But
wait, do you guys live 4 hours from your school or something? What do you mean wake up 5 a.m.? I went to school. My kids, we wake up an hour before school. And that's plenty of time for the kids to hang out on their iPads, watch their favorite cartoons, eat the Cheerios. I make my kids hot breakfast at least 4 days a week. And pack their lunch. Make sure that they're loved and kissed and everything else. And we hang at the bus stop with friends and everything else. And that's 1 hour before the bus gets there. And that's plenty of time. Maybe parent better. Maybe use your time a little bit better. These people are telling you how lazy they are. They don't want to wake up in the morning. If I want to sleep until 11 and Penelope wants to just stand like, no, man, no, you guys are dumb.
Yeah, that's what we think about homeschool, public school.
Oh, cool. Thanks for telling us all that you think about it. And that's the craziest thing. These people influence millions of people. And they're like, yeah, here we go. Here's our educated opinion on that. Look, an elephant.
We're going to try it. We're going to try it, see how it goes.
Yeah, okay, let's see how it goes.
I was going to say that when the twins start school, not this new school year, but the year after that, they're going to go into kindergarten. And I genuinely don't think I'm capable of teaching them how to read or write.
Thank you for admitting it. But you're capable of teaching your kid who's in higher elevated grades? You can't teach how to read and write, but you're going to teach your smart kid other things? Cool.
I feel like that's a lot.
It's a lot to teach your kid how to read? What? Can you not read? What do you mean it's a lot to teach your kid how to just read to them?
I go to private school, they're going to learn how to read and write, and I think when they finish second grade, I'm going to pull them out, because right now Penelope is very, like, she can read and write, and she can learn, and she can follow, directions. So I think when the twins...
So basically what she's admitting to is that Penelope can read and write, and so I'm going to get her these curriculum books, and she's going to teach herself through this curriculum. She's not going to teach her anything. If Penelope has a question, sorry, Google it, right? That's what's going to happen here. She doesn't know anything. You think he can homeschool? These people are literal rocks. They're morons. And so she's admitting you right there. I'm just going to buy the books. Penelope's going to read the books and teach herself this stuff. And then happy days. We're going to go look at elephants.
We're done with second grade. Then we're just going to homeschool all the kids.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really don't think I'm capable, especially with Barbour.
You are not capable. It's true.
Heavy, Lord Jesus. They would drive me crazy.
Yeah, they would fight the whole time.
They fight. One wants to win and be better than the other one. One's going to...
They want to be normal kids, and I just can't handle it. Like, so let me hear this. Let me get this right. You can't handle your kids being home because you can't handle it, because they're normal children. Also, you don't want them in school because you can't handle waking up in the morning. Also, you need to take vacations. Your kids need to do brand deals. Am I hearing that correctly? I got it all locked in? Cool.
Lose focus, and then the other one's going to lose focus of this one, and they're just them together. No. So when they finish...
Do you think a second grader is going to be better? Okay.
Second grade, then we'll homeschool all of them.
It's going to be worse, moron.
So that's one of the things that we wanted to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're now smarter for it.
What are your opinions if you're watching this on YouTube? Comment below what you think. Are your kids homeschooled? How does it go? Do you wish you could homeschool kids? Do you like public schools? Why do you like public schools?
You know, another thing I was going to say that we didn't talk about? Because remember, like, when we were growing up, homeschool kids were like weird kids.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy you're bringing that topic.
Yeah, like the homeschool kids were weird kids. But I feel like as times change and like social media...
Yeah, I know exactly what I was about to say. It's true. Social media has changed everything. Kids aren't actually interacting like we used to interact face to face. They're not doing it anymore. Have you ever walked through a high school before? They're probably talking to a friend who's sitting right next to them. The social aspect dynamic has completely shifted. It has completely changed.
Just everything in general, you know, like you're more aware. Social media made everybody more aware of like indoctrination and things in school they teach and what's happening in the government, all this stuff. Yeah. So, but I'm saying homeschool kids used to be the weird kids because they weren't like social. But actually, like if you look up right now, like I saw a bunch of stuff come out saying that homeschool kids are actually not the weird ones and they're more social than public school kids. It's just
because they don't have phones attached to their eyeballs. It's true. So that's a good point.
It depends. I feel like it depends on how a parent homeschools a kid.
But you know, their kids are gonna have phones and tablets attached to their eyeballs
because if you have them inside and every single day locked up, they're gonna be socially. I mean, I got socially awkward when I was locked up in a sense when I first had Penelope and I had no friends when we moved to Virginia.
That's completely different than homeschooling your children. Like when I had a baby and I was locked up because I'd take care of my baby, I got social awkward. What are you saying? I cannot believe the words that come out of her mouth.
Yeah. So that happens. So it all depends on a parent.
What?
They're gonna do it the right way. Like, you know, go out.
Do you think that they're gonna do anything the right way? Truly. Answer me that.
I'll take them to field trips, do play dates, whatever, or if you're just going to have them inside. But I want to tell this story.
What?
It's a childhood story. I think you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So there's a childhood story I never told before, and I think it's like a little something interesting. So growing up, I was really, really, really good friends. Like part of the family of this family that homeschooled their kids, they were rich, like very, very, very wealthy. And the reason why I knew this family was because my mom was actually their housekeeper. So she cleaned their homes, she cleaned their house and she basically like did things. So I think there's like a difference between
no, it's a housekeeper.
A maid and a housekeeper.
A housekeeper, yeah, a housekeeper actually like is in charge of keeping the house all the.
I would love to see any essay he wrote in high school. Like a housekeeper is totally in charge of like keeping the house, right? Like just keeping it. You ever seen Schitt's Creek and they're like, how do you fold the cheese? What do you mean fold the cheese in?
Time?
Yeah,
like
so she was
time.
there like every single day.
Okay.
So
yeah,
she wasn't like a maid where she just went once a week. She was there every single day.
Like a housekeeper.
And even to the point where sometimes she would like do things with
like a housekeeper. He says like a housekeeper.
So that was her full-time job. So she had got this job when I was in, I want to say third grade. When I was in third grade. And this family had 3 daughters. One of their daughters was my age. We were only a month apart. And their kids were homeschooled their whole lives. So I was going to public school and the daughter was homeschooled. And I remember in their house, they had this room upstairs. The room was a huge room and it was just their homeschool room. It had computers and books and all these really cool things. And I literally spent my time there all the time. Like in the summer, I was there all the time. So I adapted to like her family a little bit. And I remember she was socially awkward because she didn't really get to like experience other friends. So her family really liked that I was over a lot because she got to have a friend.
Yeah.
But I remember that the way her mom would teach her and like homeschool her. And that was my story.
Wow, that's the story?
What?
You should have stayed in school. So here's the story. Like I used to know a kid who was homeschooled. And I remembered her mom homeschooled her. And my mom was a housekeeper, which is a keeper of the house. Holy cow, what the heck?
That's my story.
Yeah, what?
Your story, the moral of the story is
what's the moral?
You have an experience with somebody that was homeschooled and
that's the moral of the story.
She was socially
and so now you're going to pull your kid out of school so you can do brand deals? That's the moral of the story. You can't make it up. Oh, man, this is
I
awesome.
built that story up just to...
Yeah, you did.
No, but, to add on to that story, you told me about them people before.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it's a good thing in your life that happened because you got to see firsthand, like, a mom homeschooling and then the way they were, too. You used to tell me that they were certain ways, like...
And she would take them, or maybe this is why...
Did she take them to see elephants? Look at elephants.
Exactly.
But she would take me and her to like
her and I
these events like in Seminole, which is like a part of Florida where there's a lot of Indian tribes.
Yeah.
And we would go to events like that and that would be like our field trip for the day and we would have to we would learn and the way that she homeschooled her kids was very cool. Like they had a homeschool room, they did field trips, like her daughter would do
so they did normal school? Okay.
Homework.
You're not going to do that though. That's the thing. You're not going to classically homeschool your children. You said you can't even teach them to read and write. So you're not going to be able to do what that mother did, right? You're still going to make them do brand deals. You're going to go on many vacations. They're admitting the thing that most influencers won't admit to you. They pull their kids out of school so they can do more content. That's exactly what they said this whole video. We're pulling our daughter out of school because the school's giving us trouble because we need to make content with our children. That's exactly what they're doing. That should be legal.
Actually graduated high school 1 year earlier than me, so she like jumped up in a grade. So I feel like homeschool has like a lot of benefits and stuff, especially when you're able to jump up in a grade. And I told Penelope, because Penelope in the beginning was like, I want to go to college, and I was like, girl, you don't even know what college is for.
Did you just say that? Girl, you don't even know what college is for. What?
Like, I want to because my teacher says college. And I was like, no, like I was like, honestly, like if I were you, I was like, just, well, maybe I might get hate for this, but
yeah,
social media if you like it, like just
do social media. So she's gonna push her kid to do social media because she thinks that's the value. Hear what she just said there. Don't go to college, do social media because that's gonna last. You idiots! This is what they're teaching their children. These people exist, everybody. Don't go to college, forget college, just do social media. Oh my gosh!
Maybe I shouldn't say that.
You shouldn't have said that.
You took your chin, bro. This girl.
See, she even knows what she said was ridiculous, but she's telling the truth. Even she feels dumb about saying that, and she still put it on the internet. Just do social media. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, you should.
Well, Penelope sometimes tells me she wants to do social media, and then sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah,
so that's why I tell her that.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell your kid to do social media, okay? Let's, as parents, band together and get rid of influencer culture completely. Do not raise a generation of influencers. Please. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
But basically,
It just depends on whatever she
Narcissistic, selfish D-bags is all they are.
wants to do.
Yeah, but because I don't want her struggling, like, to go to college, have a huge debt.
Well, she might.
You guys are rich. You can pay for her college. What is she saying right now? Are you not going to pay your kid for all the brand deals that she did? She's not going to have a big nest egg? You just admitted that your child works. So therefore, your child should have plenty of money to go to college. What are you saying right now, Bramty? Your kid has money, should have money. Hello?
Not like if she like does a sport or does get scholarship, she gets 100% paid for. Like
Yeah, just because.
Or she can use her own money that she's making, right? She's making money, right? When you force her to do brand deals, she gets the lion's share of that brand deal she does, right? Right?
Because I see people on.
This is why laws like Illinois are being put in place because of people like this. She's not getting paid to get pulled out of school to do brand deals. They're pulling their kid out of school to work, then they get paid for it, and this child doesn't get anything. That's crazy, everybody. At least child actors, they are by law forced to be paid a percentage. Coogan law. They're admitting something right now that's crazy.
TikTok talking about how they're in college and they're in such debt and that they're stressed.
They never
and
can
like,
get out of it.
And
again, you guys are living in a mansion. You make tons of money on social media. Put away an RESP or whatever you call that in the States, an education savings account to some degree for your child so that when they go to school, they don't have to go into debt. What are you saying right now? You guys drive $500,000 vehicles. The vehicles that they drive, a quarter of the cost of that vehicle could literally pay for the children to go through all 4 years of college. And they're sitting here saying like, they're going to go into debt. What do you mean? Why would they have to go into debt? Why is that the only option here? You guys are wealthy. Use your wealth to send your kids to college. What is going on?
And I'm scared for Penelope to experience that. But
she doesn't have to experience it.
Is to be homeschooled like her whole life. Even when she's in high school, like I don't have to be up her butt. Like do your homework. Like she knows that she has to do her things.
Yeah.
And then she's doing school like 3-4 hours a day, and then she's getting to do the rest of whatever she wants. Whatever she wants.
No, she doesn't get to do whatever she wants. She gets to do brand deals and travel with you guys as influencers. She's just lying to you guys. She's pulling her kid out of school so they can work. And then she's like, no, she can just do whatever she wants. No. You're lying.
To do for her life, whether it be like being an athlete or social media or
social media
or artist, whatever.
Exactly. She can use the rest of her time doing that, and she can graduate high school sooner.
Yes.
That's what I personally.
Why does it matter if they graduate sooner? What does it matter? If she wants to go to college, you're like, nah, you're going to go in debt. No, Mom, I should have hundreds of thousands of dollars considering you've exploited my entire childhood on YouTube. Where's my money? Where's my money?
Would want for all.
And that's why states are putting laws in place so these kids can sue the ever-living crap out of their parents, and they should. Right, Gus?
Of my kids. Just like no stress, like living life.
Yeah, because like,
you know.
I don't know. I wish that we were pushed earlier. I feel like I was already mature. I would have been mature enough at freshman, sophomore year.
You're not mature enough now, Lewis, to do anything, so no.
I don't know because
I know.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Like, you were mature too. Like we were both mature. We had jobs.
You're not mature now. Stop saying you were mature. No, you're not.
We had to be mature.
Yeah, we had to be mature. But I'm saying we had jobs early. 16, 15, 16, we had jobs. So like if...
Doesn't make you mature because you have a job. That's ridiculous.
By that time, I could have done like what I wanted to do with my life then.
Yeah.
I would have been so far along by the time I was 18, 19, 20.
Like what? What did you want to do? Become influencers? What do you mean? What are you saying? You guys aren't good at anything. What are you saying right now?
Crazy.
There's kids that start college early too. I mean, college, whatever. But like, college is necessary if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, stuff like that. But
just doctor and lawyers. Eh? That's it. That's all college is necessary for. That's a take, I guess.
For me, I remember I didn't even know what I wanted to do because my time was so occupied with school and my after-school job that I didn't have time to know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's called being a kid. That's why you should let kids be kids. They shouldn't have to know by the time they're 14 what they want to do. Let them grow, let them experience life. College is an important experience too. You don't have to go to college, travel the world, do something. But like, you don't have to know it all at 14 or 15. Like, I was mature at 14. No, you weren't. You're not mature now. You still act like 16-year-olds. So come on.
Me either. Yeah, same.
And then you just jump into the military because you don't know what to do.
That's
exactly.
What is like oh my
don't
gosh.
Don't be like me either. I was going to, remember?
Yeah, you
were about to go pregnant young.
Yeah.
Let's join the military, but then
focusing on college. I was focusing on you in bed.
Yep.
Ew. Did she just say that?
No, yeah, but I feel like, that's just kind of how we're thinking of things.
I mean,
yeah. Are you thinking of things? You're thinking of things, and all your thoughts are dumb.
Off topic about those same people you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because I remember you used to tell me that lady, super wealthy, super rich, whatever, her lifestyle. I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you took a lot from
I learned a lot from her, yeah.
How she lived. Like, you told me about that she was all into, this is going to be funny, but all into crystals and stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody, there you go.
But now,
don't listen to weird rich people about crystals and things. Okay, just stop.
Only that,
stop it. They don't do anything. Okay, crystals don't do anything.
You said they were really healthy. Yeah, that they were really woke.
Don't eat them either.
They were very woke and
super woke.
I spent so much time with them because generally
woke homeschoolers
are like a second family to me.
Wow.
My mom trusted them. They had a daughter my age. The mom was really cool. And I spent a lot of time with them. You know, when my mom would work weekends, I would go there. Or summer, I'd be sleeping over there. Like,
it's like family.
Yeah. And I learned, and I feel like at that age, like 3rd grade, because Penelope right now is about to go to 3rd grade. Like they had learned. They're like sponges. Everything they see. So I saw so much. I got to see like obviously
elephants.
My side of the family, a single mom. Or Hispanic,
struggling.
Communication isn't all that well, so like one side, but then I would go to this other house and it was like
a whole different world.
And it was more, and it wasn't like,
so you told me they had like a huge library, then you told me
they had like a hallway of books, and
whoa, they had books.
They're just very like classy people, and then I got to see that, and then I incorporated a lot of their like the way things they did, how they lived into my lifestyle, and my brothers didn't because they didn't spend time over there as much as I did. And
so my brothers are totally dumb.
I genuinely, and I will say this to like the end, but like part of the reason I am the way I am has to do with like all of the time I spent over there.
Oh, thanks, family. Thanks for making this monstrosity. Thank you.
Oh, that's crazy.
No, yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's because imagine I spent time over there and they were like trashy people doing bad things. Like, I would have. It's like you are who you hang out with. Yeah. So I did incorporate a lot of what they did and how they raised the daughter and how they treated me into my life, and it was just very admirable. Like, just seeing the type of mom that she was and how she raised her kids. So yeah, that's like a little fun fact about me. If you guys,
it's a fun fact. Thanks for the fun fact.
Didn't know I basically had like a second family and they were rich.
Why keep focusing on that? Who cares? Who cares if you're rich or poor? If you treat your kids like garbage and train them wrong, it doesn't matter how much money you have. That's what they think. They think they think level of success has to do with wealth, and they're wealthy. Don't get me wrong. They make a lot of money. They spend. They're probably so much in debt, and the fact that it doesn't even come to mind that they could probably pay for their child's education really, really speaks volumes to me that they don't have any money. That they live well above their means and they live outside of their means, meaning they have debt and they're never going to recover from it. That's what it sounds like to me. Drive around $250,000 BMWs and stuff like that, and like very expensive cars, traveling all over the world. There's no way they can keep up with it. I know they make a lot, but they spend it all.
Do you communicate with them now or no?
No.
Not at all?
I reached out to
her. They
made
a lasting impression, but I don't even know who they are now.
Her, not the mom, like the daughter, like a few years ago. But it was just like, it's just been too long. It's just there's nothing there anymore.
Super impactful.
But,
what about the mom?
No, maybe I should.
You should? I feel like you should.
I know, right?
I feel like you could go see her. Maybe.
Hi, we're like super wealthy now too. And we're going to homeschool, but not for the reasons you did, but because we need to travel and do brand deals.
Take out to lunch, dinner or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool to catch up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so. And you can tell her how you took...
Okay, I don't care anymore. I can't believe they put that on the internet. Look at these comments. Where'd it go? A lot of people were commenting about the college thing. 20 is crazy thing to say. I get that college isn't for everyone, but discouraging people, telling people from going to college instead of pursuing social media is crazy. I hope you know that both as influencers, how to read, write, and math, thanks to teachers. Yep. I think homeschooling is a great idea, but being that Bramty thinks that the earth is flat, maybe you guys should consider it too. She thinks the earth is flat. What? Is there a podcast about that? Everything you're saying in this episode is very much giving I'm entitled. Not everyone has the luxury of staying home to homeschool. Waking up at 6 a.m, unfortunately, the majority of Americans don't have an option. Do what's best for your children. So many parents to blame for bad school system, but parents are the part of the problem when they don't comply with the rules. Best wishes to Penelope. Please don't tell her not to go to college. Here's a question. If you guys have money to do social media and have average jobs, would you still discourage college for your child? There's a lot of people saying don't discourage college. It's a big one. There's a lot of negative comments on it, and they were looking for it. They were looking for it because it gives them exposure. Nobody's talking about, like, you pull your kid out to work. Nobody's saying some of the things that we were, like, crazy. Like, whatever. I like went in there and, like, whatever. Like, you're just going to have to deal with that. If she wants to sleep until 11, like, we're just going to let her do that. They felt like prisoners because they had to wake up at 6 a.m. Like, what? Like, every single other parent who goes to work and takes a kid to school, people are like, I was shook. You guys are amazing parents. Having your child purposely miss school for a brand deal you signed them up for pure selfishness. They have their priorities all messed up. They pulled her out of school largely for themselves. Exactly. And then someone says, who cares? Why prioritize a public school system when you can prioritize other things like making your kid work? These people are crazy in this world. Here's a comment. My eyes rolled so hard to the back of my head. Really? Your husband is such a beta male and can't even take control of a simple issue like disciplining a child to go to school? What the hell is it with, no wonder your children are having these issues. It's because of your lack of awareness. I don't want her to feel bad. She's just tardy because. No, she's tardy because y'all are failing as parents. Homeschooling is great, but bad-mouthing teachers who are just trying to teach soft core skills is beyond entitled. Also, you don't want people to know who we are, but openly videotaping them for content? Please make it make sense. Your husband needs to find his pair of balls because in reality, you and him are in the issue. Ooh, burn! That's what I said, basically. That's the long and short of the whole video. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen any family vlogger say on the internet. You cannot make that up. I know it's a long video, but every word they said was crazy. Every single thing they said in there was actually bananas. And this is when CPS should be taking a look at this stuff. School should be reporting this. Because she admitted to the teacher, we pull her out because we make her work. We make her do child labor. Call authorities. These are mandated reporters listening to her tell the truth about why she's pulling her child out of school. We just don't care. If she wants to sleep in, she can. Can't you guys just deal with that? No, they pulled her out of school because they were about to get investigated. That's the only reason. They're selfish, entitled, ridiculous people. And they influence people. That's the scariest thing. People will watch this and think it's okay. Please don't think this is okay, because it's not okay. But also please take a huge breath. Breathe out the BS. Breathe it out. Air that out, Bramty. You guys, I cannot believe you exist and that you said all that on the internet. You absolute donuts. Thank you, though. Thanks for telling us that all along we've been right about this. They're saying things that family vloggers would never say, but do, by the way. Whenever you see a family vlogger pull children out of school, it's because of these reasons. They'll tell you, they'll lie to you and say, oh, it's because they don't get education. No, it's because the schools are starting to wake up. Why are your kids missing so much school? Why are they doing this? They're doing brand deals. They're mandated reporters. If you are forcing your child into working, that's mandated reporter stuff. They have to report that stuff. Okay? It is crazy how selfish influencer parents are. I can't make it up. And every time we are made right, it is just, we are vindicated. Vindicated. Every time. And you're awesome for being here and being part of this conversation. Sorry it was such a long video today. It's been a long time since I did one of those. But you guys are amazing, incredible, and valuable. Don't you ever forget it, and I will see you when I see you.